let's move on to the second paragraph. Soon I began to hear shouts nearby. Through the sharp whistling of the wind, I recognized the voice of Giulio Amator Carabello, the tall, well-built officer who was yelling at someone, "Fatso, hold there!" Then soon he realized that he was not alone. All the other members are here. All the other shipmates are in the same condition. They were all thrown into different parts of the ocean, and he could hear the shouting, the yelling of the other shipmates, and he could recognize the sound of Giulio Amator Carabello, who was a strong man, and he was saying something. He was yelling something. He understood that he was not alone there. His friends are also scattered in different parts of the ocean, and he could see his friends trying to hold on to some pieces of wood, some pieces of the ship, to keep themselves afloat, to keep themselves on top of the water. So remember the character Giulio Amator Carabello. Now let's move on to the second paragraph. It was as if in that instant I had awakened from a moment's deep sleep. It dawned on me that I wasn't alone in the sea. There, only a few meters away, my mates were shouting to one another and trying to stay afloat. Quickly, I began to think. I couldn't swim in just any direction. I knew we were about 50 miles from Cartagena, but I was not yet frightened. For a moment, I thought I could hold on to the crate indefinitely. So, Velasco soon learned that he was not alone. His other friends, the other shipmates, are also there, swimming in the ocean, trying to hold on to some pieces of the ship to keep themselves alive. What can he do now? Because he is far away from the seashore. It is not possible to swim and reach to the seashore. We have already covered a good distance from the seashore. They are somewhat in the middle of the ocean, so swimming to either side is not possible. So he was holding to a crate, and so was his friends. Now it dawned upon him. Dawned upon here means come to a realization. Here, Velasco, at first he thought he was alone. Then he realized when he heard the sounds, the shouting, yelling of his shipmates, he understood that his friends are also there. There is only one chance for them to save their life, because it is not possible to swim in any direction, because they have covered about 50 miles from Cartagena. Now they cannot swim such a long distance. So the only chance of survival is to hold on to something to save your life and wait for somebody to come that way. Only option available for them is to wait till someone comes to rescue. Let's continue. I knew we were about 50 miles from Cartagena, but I was not yet frightened. For a moment, I thought I could hold on to the crate indefinitely. Until help arrived, it was reassuring to know that all around me, other sailors were in the same predicament. That was when I saw the raft. So here Velasco have only one option, and that is to wait till some help comes. That is to wait till someone comes that way and helps him. Because they were far away from the island. And all the shipmates, his friends, were in the same predicament, same condition, same situation. They were all trying to save their life by clinging to some pieces of the ship. And you know, when such a shipwreck happens, there are rafts attached to a ship. If something happens to the ship, the shipmates can use those rafts. It's like it is for the emergency use. So here there were some rafts attached to this ship. There were many rafts, and then he know that if he gets a raft, then he can use the raft till somebody comes to help him. Let's move on to the third paragraph. There were two life rafts about 7 meters apart. They appeared unexpectedly on the crest of a wave near where my mates were calling out. It seemed odd that none of them could reach the life rafts. In an instant, one of the rafts disappeared from view. I couldn't decide. I found myself swimming towards the one I could see, which was moving farther away from me. I swam for about 3 minutes. I lost sight of the raft momentarily, but I was careful not to lose my bearings. Suddenly, a rough wave pushed the raft alongside me. It was huge, white, and empty. I struggled to grab the rigging and jump aboard. I made it on the third try. Once on the raft, panting, whipped by the wind, immobilized and freezing, I found it hard to sit up. Then I saw 3 of my mates near the raft trying to reach it. He was able to locate some of the rafts, and that is a good chance for him. If he gets a raft, he can use the raft and he can sit in the raft till someone comes. See, 1 of 2 rafts, but after each wave struck, some of them disappeared, and then he saw 1 raft which was near to him. So he was trying to swim near to the raft and to save himself from death. He was trying to get hold of any of those rafts so that he can sit in the raft, wait for help. He fixed his eyes on one of those rafts. Earlier there were 2, but only 1 is now available. The other one has already vanished, disappeared. So he was looking at that raft and swimming in that direction so that he can catch that raft and save his life. And he aimed at that raft and swam in that direction. And he tried to grab the riggings. The rigging is many ropes that are attached to the mast of the ship. So he tried to hold to that rigging of the raft and jump into the raft. He wanted to jump aboard the raft, and he failed in his first 2 attempts, but on the 3rd attempt he was able to got hold of the raft and jumped inside the raft. He is more safe, and now his aim is to help his friends who are scattered in different parts around that raft. And he saw 3 of his friends holding to the pieces of the ship or to the crates, and he wants to help them. He wants to bring the raft near to his friends so that he can save the life of his friends. Okay, now let's discuss the questions in these sections. The first question is, what happened to the narrator? And the answer is, his ship was wrecked and he was thrown into the ocean. Second question, what appeared reassuring to the narrator? We know that when he was thrown into the ocean, there was some hope for him because he was not alone. His friends are also floating here and there. So that reassured him. And when he heard the shoutings and yelling of his friends, he was a little bit relaxed. He felt that he was not alone in the ocean. Next question. I made it on the third try. What did the narrator do on the third try? On the third try, he was able to got on the life raft that was floating. That's all for today. We'll see you in the next class. And you can write answers to the first 3 questions from these 3 paragraphs. We have already discussed the answers to all the 3 questions, and I'll be giving you some notes as well. So stay tuned. And if anybody who hasn't subscribed this channel is watching this class, please do subscribe and support us, because your support is our energy for doing the next class. Thank you very much.